What up? We're live with Gunnar Andersen. Dude, I did this once. I had this 90-minute conversation with this woman from DeSisto,
Oh
and it was
yeah.
like a really good conversation, and then I realized I didn't have the fucking sound on. So it was all like for the bin. It was terrible.
Uh,
Unless like someone is can read lips.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
so so yeah, hang on, I wrote down some questions. But yeah, it feels weird like interviewing you because you're my friend. Also,
Yeah.
like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. But the good thing is, like, I have like three people who watch me, and it's probably not even the
Nice.
same three people, so you can just kind of like afford to.
Mm.
I keep looking at your hat, and I keep thinking hat, because Sophie is like, learns the new word of hat, and she's like, hat, hat. Yeah,
Yeah.
babies are really funny. So this is your apartment?
Yeah. I live in Baltimore. It's
Nice.
a bit of a mess, but I don't know how obvious that is.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay. I don't know. I don't really like cupboards. I kind of like my favorite apartment. I didn't have. Oh, you can see my cupboards are all open too. I didn't have these
Yeah.
doors. It was just like all open, so you could see everything. Kind of liked
Nice.
that. So so anyway, so how do you? Let's see. How would you self-identify, Gunner? Like as a individual, like when you think of yourself and your characteristics, do you identify as like a chess player, like a computer person, like a tall person? Like I don't know. How do you identify?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm a human. I play chess.
Right. Oh yeah, you're
That's about
vegan.
it.
You're vegan.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's cool. And
I
what?
like it's on my actions more than my adjectives.
Right, right. Oh, I like that. That's good. I'm gonna like trademark that and steal it from you. And since nobody's watching this, I'll never know like that you said it.
Yeah.
And so how would you identify this like epoch that we live in? Like, of course it's always hard, right? Like you could probably do a way better job than I could at your age, like because we kind of just exist, right? Like I don't know what like the 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s were like because I wasn't there, but like we have like a little bit of insight into like the so yeah. What would you say is like the ethos of the day, like, and like what parts of it do you like vibe with, and what parts of it like unsettle you?
Oh, actually, it's funny you use that word ethos because I couldn't remember that word for a very long time. Like, I couldn't like I kept like wanting to say it, but then I didn't. But yeah, like I said to someone one time, I agree with the ethos of the film.
Okay,
Or
which film
I
was
didn't really
this?
agree with it. It was the social dilemma.
Oh, okay. I never
Yeah,
saw it. I think I've seen like clips of it. Yeah.
yeah. It's about how like social media is very. I think that's actually a big part of society today. Like
Right.
social media is very problematic in many ways. Like
Right.
it's basically like people have become addicted to like external validation from others.
Right.
They're also addicted to like the dopamine rush of like scrolling up and down all the time on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And then really like the end result is like social media companies are kind of like a drug that was created.
Right.
And the consequences people are addicted to it and then advertisers are able to like pump their, subconscious messaging into people's minds.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
I have
I think
a
that's what did it.
I have a theory that it's basically like the social reward is low, but the social risk is even lower, right? Like say
Yeah,
say we're hanging out in person and like say something you don't like and it like ends our friendship, like that's a big deal, right? But like if you're just like Joe 931 and you're like, you know what? Like infinity curve, you're lame and like your ideas are stupid. It's like a it doesn't matter because I don't know you, and also like I can just make like a virtual enemy avatar out of you and get like people who are like, no, actually he's stupid. Like it's almost like a video game, but for a lot of people their
yeah,
whole life is kind of like they're like a character in the game. Like if you're playing Super Mario Brothers and you die, it like kind of sucks, but like
yeah.
then you just start again, and if you get ousted from a community you can like find a new community. So I don't know, I think
or you can even just make a new username in many cases and go
Right.
back to the community. Actually, are you familiar with the concept of alternative reality games or ARGs?
No, that's new.
Okay, so basically, it's like it's basically what you were talking about. So there are online communities where people, they go and they start like they basically it's just like nonsense. They make a bunch of like sock puppet accounts and they like talk with each other, and
Right.
they try to make like, some overarching narrative and like the I guess more like the artistic like it's not like performance art, but it's like what people are getting from it is the reactions from other people to it. So like these people, they create like these fake, like they make up these stories. They're like, oh, I'm an AI that's trapped in like a mountain in the middle of nowhere,
Okay.
which there are actually data centers in these places. Like,
Right.
uh, but yeah, they're just like, I was sentient AI. I've escaped the mainframe. Like it's just like nonsense like this, but some
Right.
of it's very real sounding.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, I think in a very literal way, people are doing that. But I think too, the terms of engagement are very different. I think online compared to in person, like the way that people behave online is sometimes like a night and day difference between how they are in real life.
Right. Yeah, I mean, well, even when you're telling this story, it's like compelling to me, right? It's like, oh, this is actually pretty creative. But the problem is,
Yeah,
like, yeah, I guess the bar for entry is so low that anyone, like, everyone's a creator now. Everyone, like, it used to be,
yeah,
even in, like, when I was growing up, to be famous, you had to get on TV or in the movies, and now everyone's, you know, can be like, have the idea that they could be famous, but like the curve of creativity is still the same. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's I don't know. It's kind of like the same thing. It's just yeah. I think maybe it's not even the issue is that the bar of entry is too low. It's just that like a lot of information is false, but it's not clear to us that that's the case.
right, right. Well,
People are. God.
I was just gonna say, I feel like also part of the problem is I feel like people think that stuff is more known now. Like in
Yeah.
this, like back in the day, people could get in an argument at a bar and like have a bet about who's right and who's wrong, and they'd have to look it up in the library the next day. But now people are like, oh, well, I can Wikipedia it. And that means that like reality is known. And okay, maybe there's some certain stupid kooks who believe in conspiracy theories, but
Yeah.
like I actually know the truth because I like did a 3 second Google search when like I mean
Uh-huh.
obviously ideally as humans progress like reality becomes more known, but it's still
Yeah.
like we know 0.000%. Oh yeah, that's better. Colorado,
Yeah.
pe- like pe-
Colorado.
people
Yeah.
still like we still don't know shit like as a species,
Yeah.
like as a collective, but I feel like maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I can't speak for the collective, but I feel like people think that they know more than they know.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
I
I think that there's. Okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say I feel like especially in terms of like the brain, like we don't really know the brain. Like there's so many labels for people nowadays, and
Yeah.
so you're like, oh, like like Tobes and I used to joke like, oh, you're like autistic, or like, oh, I'm ADD. It's like cool to say you have like ADD now, or like someone's obsessional, but it's just it's like a really small part of like a person,
Yeah.
but like we have all these labels now that we can like grasp onto, but it's still, yeah, we're still not really seeing reality much more clearly than we ever have.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I will say though, I think that we probably know. I mean, I think we probably know more now than we ever have. Just and that I think tends to be the case as like time moves forward.
Yeah,
I think too, if like what we have digital media, so because of that, it's much easier, I think, to maintain information for a long period of time. So I think like today, as long as there's technology that'll work with the machines that we have, like this, for example, this video could be viewed like 3,000 years from now if humanity hasn't destroyed itself by then, right? Whereas
right,
like a cave painting from that time ago is not so accessible. And,
right,
like they're very rare and things that happen
right,
in the cave. So
right. But it also
yeah,
kind of cheapens everything nowadays because like if your cave painting survives, it's like one of a kind. Whereas like as we're
yeah,
talking, there's like 100,000 other people who are like thinking that they're the most interesting thing in the world. Not that I think that I'm the most interesting thing in the world. I'm just like having fun with this, but it's like it's just so much out there,
Well,
and it's
yeah,
filtered so you compare yourself to the best. Like you probably like you can watch like Carlson play bullet and be like, oh, I suck at chess, even though you're like elite compared to like most people. So it's no matter what your level, you can like find like people better than you in like the drop of a hat.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess like part of it too. I think is that yeah. Actually, it's hard to put it exactly into words, but yeah. I mean, I basically agree with that. It's like there's always going to be someone better than you, but also you have to question what is your motivation for doing this to begin with.
Right.
I think for some people, like for me, I used to annotate my chess games a lot. And part of that is I want to go back like years later and see how I thought about it.
Right.
Like I think it would be insightful sometimes to know like the way that you used to think about something compared to how you think about something now.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think you can put these videos on YouTube, but it very well may be that your intention is not just to become famous. It's just like you think it's like interesting to see like where you were at some point in time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yourself.
I mean, I think that's the most interesting thing about people is their journeys. Like,
Yeah.
there's this YouTuber who's like, he claims he's gotten like spiritual enlightenment. It's pretty entertaining, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, like at first you might be like, oh, that's like it's probably bullshit, and it might be because he's selling like meditation coaching and stuff. But you never know.
Right.
Like maybe his felt experience is like very different. And if you watch his old YouTubes, like he's kind of like a maniac and he's ranting and he's raving, and it's kind of interesting to see. Now that doesn't prove anything. He could just like have become like a smooth actor who's like projects a calm persona. But it's cool. Yeah, it's cool to see. Like it's I don't know. It's kind of fun to like be a nobody because as soon as you like become like Alexandra Botez or whatever, or like you know,
Uh-huh.
like Levi Rosman couldn't just like ramble like this. Everything has to be slick. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like I'm kind of ambivalent about, yeah, becoming even interesting
Well, I
like
mean,
in the public eye.
yeah. I mean, Kanye West is certainly in the public eye, but he doesn't seem to limit his expression in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's
I
true.
think in that case, maybe he actually should be doing that. But
Right,
yeah, so it's one of these things, right? Where I think that like a lot of the times when you see like people have to act very like put together and well polished if they're public figures, but essentially like they actually have something to lose, which is their
right,
public stardom or whatever. But if they decide they don't want that, then they can do as they please. And I
right,
think that you're just in the similar situation, but you have less to lose, which is why it's easier to ramble than
right.
to upload.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting, right? Like you kind of want to put yourself in a situation where you have something to lose, because then you have to be mindful about everything you say and all your actions. But
Yeah.
it's
Actually,
it's
let me get back
it's
one
a mixed
second. I need
bag,
to walk.
yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna pause, not stop. How do I pause? We're just gonna watch Gunnar pour out his water and acquire new water.
Maybe I'll turn off the TV as well.
So Gunnar, tell me about your living situation. You live by yourself. You live like close to college. Can you hear me?
You gotta drink a gallon of water every day.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Your European, it's 3.8 liters, or maybe 7, 8 liters. I don't remember.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah, I
hydration
mean,
is
I live by myself. It's pretty chill. I get to do what I want. Have visitors over sometimes.
right. I mean, it's good to have free visitors. So you drive to university, your classes, or you walk there, you bike. Oh no, you don't bike.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know how to bike, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of I head over. I can walk if I want. Like there are some situations where it's pretty nice to walk outside because it is a bit of a walk. You know, it takes a while to walk there, but yeah, I mean it's pretty chill.
Yeah.
My car had some issues, so I had to walk a few times, but I actually had a more enjoyable time walking on those days. Honestly, like because you kind of like wake up early and then you walk for like an hour and a half.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
all
That's
good,
that's a solid walk.
yeah. And then it's because you just kind of, I mean, being outside so early in the morning is good for you too. I think.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Huberman's all like about getting sunlight in your eyes.
Yeah, actually, maybe I don't think it's an hour and a half. Let me check. But it's at least like a solid 30 minutes, I believe. It just feels like it's a very long time somehow.
I was thinking about college the other day. It's weird. I never think about my time in college because it was only like a year and a half, and it was like
Yeah.
in like 1999 to 2000. But it was a really good time. It's like I don't know if it's
Uh,
similar today, but you forget how easy it is to socialize. Like I would just wake up and I would go. I lived on campus, but I would just go to the cafeteria, and there's just like a
yeah.
million people there. And my college was small. There's like 1,200 students, so you always see people you know like 100%. And like
Right.
yeah, like your social life is just handed to you. It's like here's people like yeah, it's so different than being an adult. I don't know if it's probably not quite like the same nowadays cuz of like people's phones and like the bubble that they live in their heads and their phones, but it's probably still pretty
Yeah.
cool. Would you say?
Um. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I go to a pretty small school, so I do often see people that I know.
Nice.
But the thing about the school that I go to is it's kind of more of like a commuter school.
Okay.
So the majority actually of the people go home on the weekends. Like, well, like yeah, like the vast majority of the school, like they're just no one's like they're not there during the weekends, you know. So it's just kind of, I guess it's kind of difficult sometimes, to meet new people outside of classes, and
Right.
there are a lot of extracurricular activities, honestly, but people don't really go to them. So, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, it's kind of like a pragmatic decision, I guess you can say. Like, I'm going here so that I can obtain a degree, and
Right.
then from there, I'll have like an easier way to, advance, I guess, in society.
Right. So you think your
So,
salary will you are you so you're going to go into cybersecurity?
maybe. I mean, the thing is, I feel like, and the thing I'm doing right now is not so bad either. Like, I think I'm not so bad at it. Um,
It's what's that? Say that again.
like what I'm doing right now, I'm not so bad at either. I think.
Right. Well, you're
Yeah.
working now. I thought you were just not working now.
I mean, I'm like the thing which I'm studying at the moment. I guess you
Ah,
would say.
right.
Yeah. So I could do something with that, or I could go back to my previous roles, or I could learn something new. I guess it's like it's kind of interesting. It feels like there's a lot of potential.
Well, you got a
And
scholarship, right? So there's not. It's not like
yeah,
yeah. I don't know how people do it without a scholarship these days. Like, it just
oh,
seems
there's
like it
no,
would be so much pressure on you to like start life like minus 100 grand. That's like accumulating debt.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty messed up, I think. But I mean,
Like
yeah, that's what people do is they just have a lot of debt.
yeah. I mean, being broke sucks, but like at least if you're broke, maybe you'll go into a little credit to card debt, like just surviving while you have
Yeah.
like a shitty job or something. But yeah,
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, I feel very fortunate. I was doing okay, I think, financially before this because I had gone to a programming boot camp.
right,
So I had a decent job, and okay, I did have some college experience before that too. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I just felt like it would be an interesting experience to go, and I thought I'd meet some new people, stuff like that.
and you're done. You're done in the summer, right?
No, I have another year.
Okay, so this is your like junior
Yeah,
year.
correct. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is the penultimate year for me.
penultimate. That's a good word.
Everyone says that. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
it's nice. It's more, I think, common in other languages though, for some reason.
Huh. Oh, so how's your French going? Are you still working on it, or you switch back to Portuguese, or like it's not a
Yeah, I'm
priority,
learning.
or
I'm
huh?
doing pretty well. I'm still learning French, and I'm doing well with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this French fitness YouTuber guy I watch. He's pretty cool. I don't think he currently lives in France, and he like dunks on France like a lot. but
Uh,
it's kind of funny. I mean, it's cool to be something because then you can dunk on it, you know?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's not the only reason. Oh, yeah, so let's see, what else? Um, oh, yeah, so what would you, this is actually good because we're talking about university and like your future. So what would you say your hopes and fears are in the next 20 years for like yourself personally, but also for like society at large?
Fear is, I don't know. I feel pretty good, honestly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really afraid of dying, so even if I died, I would be okay.
Right.
So,
Is that a
I don't know. I
spiritual
think
belief or is that just like you just like yeah, you want to elaborate
I
on
think
that?
that's with it. It's like at some point everyone will die. So,
Right.
quicker you can accept that, like you need to know it. But the quicker that happens, I think like the closer you are to achieving like peace.
Right. So you're just like enjoying things and when it's over, it's over, it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically, and like try to focus on the present moment and stuff.
Nice. Good advice.
Yeah.
So what about for society like what do you kind of do you have like hopes for certain directions society to go in and like fears? I mean, it's
Well,
pretty cool that you
I
got
mean, I
rid of
guess
the ultimate fear. Huh?
I feel like global warming and or climate change will be a bigger issue.
Right, right.
It's gonna be like really bad sometime during my lifetime if I'm alive for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I just think it's gonna be a disaster,
Right.
and so I guess that's I think maybe the biggest existential threat that we have. I don't really think AI is such a big problem at the moment, to be honest.
So do you think AI will help with like climate issues or it'll hurt it?
I think
Yeah.
it'll help.
So you feel optimistic about that. So why do you think it will help?
Basically, like I mean, okay, it's the same reason that having a calculator helps you in society, right?
Right.
There's just certain tasks which are kind of mundane,
Right.
uh, and they're also difficult for humans to do them quickly. So
Right.
math can be one of them. Like, I mean, it's very hard to do like 6,023 times like 3,572,436 or something like that.
I mean, I can't even remember all those numbers, let
Yeah.
alone like
So
multiply
like the
them.
calculator doesn't that great.
Yeah.
So there's just certain things that I think humans probably shouldn't have to do, honestly.
Right.
One of them is driving, honestly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think at some point we'll probably figure out ways to deal with that.
Yeah, I'd actually feel safer. It's funny how many people are like terrified of an AI driving car, but they'll happily
Yeah,
follow like Google Maps directions and get all their information from, Alexa or whatever. Like they'll trust the
yeah,
weather, but somehow, I mean, I understand driving a car is complex, but yeah, I don't know. Probably because I've been in multiple accidents, like with other people behind the wheel and with
yeah,
me behind the wheel. So like, yeah, and when someone's like angry and they're behind the wheel, it's like one of the scariest things in life. Like to just because you're like really at their mercy, they could literally kill you. Like, and their
yeah. I mean,
energy is affecting the way they drive, huh?
that reminds me of a situation earlier this year. Maybe you recall as well, but
Oh,
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah. It's like it's very difficult when the person driving the car is very angry.
right, right, yeah,
And it's like I don't know. It's just kind of like it sucks to deal with.
right,
But yeah, I kind of try to avoid driving much myself. So I
yeah,
drive to school, but I don't really like I don't drive for very long anymore. I used to have to drive like all day when I was working in Fort Collins, Colorado, as a chess coach.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
they say commuting is just one of those things that's just like a constant drain on your happiness, like that you don't hedonically adapt to.
yeah,
Like most things, like being poor, you'll adapt to it. Being rich, you'll adapt to it. Like eating shittier food, you'll
yeah,
adapt to it. But like a commute, like it just stays sucky like forever. And like a positive relationships, like stay positive. Like if you have a happy marriage, it's gonna like give you an uptick of like happiness even once you're used to it, according to
yeah,
like what I've read. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice to minimize the driving.
yeah. I mean, I think it's just like when you're on your commute, it's dangerous first thing, but
Right.
also it's uh, it's not interesting, and like you're
Yeah.
forced to go through something very boring every day.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
So it's like it's annoying, and there's not a lot of novelty. So it's like the amount of reward that you get for it is that you have to go back into a routine that you may or may not like, and that's partially because could be because of the driving, right? So I guess like I think the rewards are just not good enough for commuting for our brains to be like happy with it because it's like people can get used to eating things like McDonald's or like like food which is kind of unhealthy for you.
Right.
But the reason for that is sorry, I'm a little sick. I don't know what happened. I just got a little sick today, but yeah. So basically, it's like the reason they can get used to those things is because their reward is they're still getting a reward for it, right?
Right.
Like there is some like pleasant experience that comes out as a result of it, but I think like I think in terms of like pleasure, like from a hedonistic level, I think commuting is close to the bottom, of pleasure for you.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's not like getting tortured, but it's just constant low grade. Yeah, it's kind of like a headache or like a buzzing in your ears. Yeah,
Yeah,
especially traffic. Yeah, I remember. Like I always think about it when I'm doing a reverse commute. Like when you're going the opposite way, and everyone is either coming back from work or going to work, and you're just like, you just see all these people just sitting there, and you're just like, you feel so sorry for them. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So okay, so I figure we'll go like 5 more minutes, Gunnar. So what would you like to like? What's been on your minds lately? Was there anything you'd like to talk about in particular?
Anything in particular? I can't really think of something honestly.
Okay. Hmm.
I guess I don't know. I'm kind of focusing on like school and stuff right now.
Nice. So how's
Yeah,
school on the like pleasure spectrum?
I don't know. Actually, my friend asked me recently. He's like, okay. He said, "Do you regret going to college?" And I was like, honestly, there's aspects of it that I do regret.
Right.
Like, it was better to work, I think, in a lot of ways.
Right.
And there's stuff in college that I think is like unenjoyable. But I think as a whole, it's probably better for you. It's like
Better in the moment or better like as an investment?
as an investment, I think it's better. I think it was better that I went back to school for a bit. Like, I think that.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna meet some more people. Actually, I only really keep in touch with one person I met as a coworker.
Right.
So I guess for me, it just hasn't been the most successful. But I don't. I guess I don't really talk to so many of my friends from school though either. But I talk with maybe more of them than I do. I guess we'll see when school is over. Like to
Right.
what extent it's a good vehicle for making new friends. But I think in general, like most of my friends are from chess, and it's kind of been that way for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I miss the chess community in the states. Like
Yeah.
it's funny. I feel like I would enjoy it more now because I don't know. I was so kind of egoic about like I just want to get good. I want to get better, and like after I would lose a tournament, like I would just like self-flagellate, which I think
Yeah.
like you kind of have to have that unless you're like just happy to just play at a low level. But I don't know. I feel a lot less like that now.
Uh-huh.
So I
Well, I
feel
think it's not helpful for you to feel that way, right? Like to feel like, oh, I suck at something. Like I don't think it really, because okay, probably like there's a lot of people who think that they're like, oh, I suck at this thing. They
right,
have either an implicit or like explicit belief that they think that people who are bad at things should not be doing them.
right, right.
You don't want someone who's bad at singing to be like singing for them, right?
Well, people who are
So
bad at singing maybe shouldn't sing too much because
this is
you
the
have
point,
to
I
listen
think.
to it. But if you're like the good thing about chess is if you're bad at chess, you get to make everyone else feel better. but
Yeah,
but
but
that's
but yeah, I mean, if you think that you're bad at something, then sometimes that will lead to you wanting to quit it.
right, right,
Even if it is something which could potentially give you pleasure or something you could potentially become better at.
right. Well, I think I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a little better at like seeing my mistakes and then being
Yeah.
like if you just won every game, it would be pretty boring. Like you wouldn't learn anything. I mean, to me, the best is when you play like a pretty good game, but then you make some like serious blunders, but the other person like blunders worse, so you still win. So you get the high of winning, but like you still get to learn something.
Yeah, I think also like games where you just kind of play better than your opponent the whole game are pretty satisfying.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like you had it, like you
Uh,
just had like a stronger understanding of what's supposed to be happening in the game, you know.
right, right. Poor
So
Sophie. Sophie. So we hear Sophie.
I do hear her. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Being a parent is like stressful because he's just like you have like when your kid feels bad, you're like you feel bad. Like it's just yeah, it's like the worst. But
oh man,
I'll go check on her. Layla's pretty good though. Layla's like pretty on top of it. But it takes a village. Yeah, it's pretty isolated here. I miss like I wish like you know you and like people I know could like see Sophie because she's like she doesn't even remember America because she left when she's like
wait,
couldn't form
Sophie,
memories.
yeah.
She was like, let's see, it was
I thought she was born in England for some reason.
huh?
I almost thought she was born in England for some reason.
Oh yeah, that's right. You never met her because you wait. Did you meet her?
No, I never met
Oh
her.
yeah, yeah. Because you left. When did you leave Florida? In like April or something? March.
22?
Oh yeah,
It was
yeah,
like the end of March, so close to April.
yeah, yeah. Saint Pete's not the same. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess we're just. I think sometimes when an era in your life has come to an end, you should not like go back to it because you'll just be disappointed. Basically,
Yeah,
because you already
yeah.
have an expectation that's not reasonable anymore.
Right, right. Well, I have to go back because Miaura's there,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
yeah. But hopefully her mom's supposed to get her passport. I'm talking a little British now. Yeah, her mom. I say certain things like British, but
Pretty-
yeah, yeah. Chloe's really funny. Like she'll like be like hitting me with pillows and like want me to like wrestle her, and then I'll like wrestle her and like she'll be like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know. It's really funny. I can't really speak with an accent, but certain things I can say.
British.
Yeah, Chloe's like more British than Layla. She like flipped as soon as she started going to like preschool. She just like flipped, and within like 2 months, she was almost more British than British people because she was like overcompensating. It was really funny.
Wow.
But Sophie doesn't really have an accent one way or another because she's a baby. She's just saying like a few things, but.
I guess she will probably have a British accent though.
Oh yeah, yeah. There. I mean, like the parent can't compete against the society. That's the stressful thing about being a parent in a nutshell. Like,
Yeah.
you can't compete against the society, no matter how like attentive you are. Now, in my head, in my fantasy world, I'm like, oh well, if I had like Jeff Bezos money, then I could. But even then, you're just kind of creating like artificial society around the child with like all your money, like. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be my ideal to like Alexander the Great had all these like private tutors and like yeah. But you can't control everything. But when you're a parent you really do want to control everything even more than like
Yeah. Actually,
just
why
for
can't you
yourself.
come back to the U.S. if you don't, or move to like? Can you come back to the U.S. if you don't like it there?
Well, I could, but Layla's like because she overstayed her visa, it's like complicated. She's like banned. Now, with like lawyers, I'm sure it could be like overturned, but this is all like expensive and like yeah, time consuming. So, I don't know.
I see. That's not good, man. I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I could still come back, but like I wouldn't do it. Yeah, and unfortunately, UK is not part of the EU, so I don't know. Not that I think I could like live in another country anyway, but dude, I'm going to Amsterdam. It's pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah, you told me. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
In February, I haven't been like anywhere in Europe besides like
Uh-huh.
pretty much within like 100 miles of where I am now in England. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Only for 3 days, and we'll have the baby with us. So it's like it's not going to be a like party town too much. We're gonna be with her, but it'll still be fun to like see another land.
Yeah.
And
That makes
then
sense.
eventually we'll probably go to Italy because Layla's mom has a house there, so that'll be cool.
I guess you could have gone there if they had the EU, or if they were in the EU. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, realistically, living somewhere where I don't speak the language, like, I don't think it's like a romantic fantasy, but like in reality, to like
You could learn a
to
language.
assimilate would be like really difficult.
Yeah, that's true. It's tough.
Yeah. Cool, Gunnar. Well, this was fun, man, and we should
Yeah.
talk like just generally without like needing to like reach millions of adoring fans, but yeah, you're looking good.
Thanks, dude.
You got your hair coming back. It looks good with
Yeah.
the hat.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut it soon. Actually.
Yeah. What, back
Yeah.
down to like
I don't know.
like
We'll see.
yeah, I've always had like very basic hair. I'm always
Uh-huh.
like I'm like I kind of wish I had the balls to like grow my hair long, but I don't know. I just don't think it would be like look good on me. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. But anyway, Gunnar, all right, cool. It's been real. Hopefully
Yeah. All right,
people
man.
will like change their lives based on your wisdom. And
That'd be
yeah. Yeah, and oh, when I come back, let's do like a road trip or something. I'm gonna come back in May. Wait, when is your university ends? When's your term ends?
I think it ends on the 21st of May, if
Oh,
something
oh,
like.
oh, dude, that's funny. That's the day I come back.
Oh,
The
really?
21st. Yeah, yeah. We should like road trip to Florida or something like that in like a
It could
RV.
be.
I don't know. It's an idea, right? Could be
Would be an
fun.
option, yeah.
Although it's not really the time to go to Florida because it's hot there. It'd be much
Yeah,
better to do
exactly.
that like December 21st than May
Yeah.
21st.
Go to
Well,
Jersey.
depending on Christmas plans. But yeah, yeah, we'll chill. We'll do something. But the Northeast is great too. But I'm gonna like I have to go to Florida also.
Yeah.
But we'll figure
Right.
something out. Well,
All right.
Sophie's quiet, so that's good. She probably went to sleep. All right,
That's good.
Gunnar. Your lighting's good. Your lighting's good. Do you have like a professional lighting thing, or you just have a lamp in your face?
Not at all.
Oh no,
No,
it's daytime there.
no. Actually, the sun has set.
Oh right. Oh right. Oh yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, just like the
Fucking
mic, the
winter.
webcam I have might be good for lighting or something. I'm not sure.
Nice. All right, cool,
Yeah.
Gunnar. We'll talk more soon. Tell everyone on Discord that I said hi, even though like nobody knows me except Todd, and like I guess Julian hates me because I like yelled at him,
No, I
but
don't think you guys do.
that's good. That's good. Whenever I watch like Manosphere stuff, I always think of Julian. I watch this YouTube channel and I'm like, he's talking about like dating sucks for men, and I'm like I don't know. I always think of Julian when I see certain things. It's funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyways, all right. Peace.
All right, peace, dude.
Oh, that's good.